All right, so this is a dashboard for one of our clients, and I got permission to share this. All right, so I'm going to try to go over all of the features that I think is relevant to you at this moment, right? I think there are certain features that I'm going to go over more in depth in the future as I get to know them, because I don't know all of the features. Like, for example, video testimonial is new. I have not tested it, and so I don't want to tell you things that I don't actually implement in my business. So things that I am talking about, I do implement it. If I don't, then I will say it outright to you. Okay. Right now, we're going to talk about the stats. I rarely don't look at the stats, but I'm going to go over it in detail today for the sake of this video. I don't utilize this. I don't utilize Facebook reviews, just FYI. But if you do want to, if you do have Facebook reviews and you integrate it here, then when you share or when you use the widget to display testimonials on your website, then it will show up. Okay. So this is the stats. So when we're looking at the stats, right, you're looking at average reviews, number of reviews, and the number of reviews over a period of time. So this is a good overview of where you stand, and this is also a good review. I mean, an overview of how many positive, negative, and neutral. Now, one thing we executed for this client, a drip campaign for reviews done probably like couple of years ago. And so should I have executed that? I should have thought this through before I did that, but I just wanted to, I guess, show the drip mode or test it and to see if it works. And now looking at this, I might have affected their SEO because there is, does Google really track the response time of reviews, replies? Maybe, maybe not. Is it a big factor? Probably very little, but so I would say, ask your client, let them make the decision and tell them the pros and cons. I thought that I went back only, they started getting reviews like maybe, don't remember exactly, but most of the reviews were recent, so I decided to just go ahead and review all of them. I mean, have AI reply to all of them. But moving forward, review AI is going to automatically reply quickly. Okay, so moving on. So the other thing that I want to make note here is that previously what we would do is when we're doing a campaign for our clients, we would sometimes customize it so that we're emailing and sending text messages through workflows. But looking at this, I think that what we're going to do is execute using this feature in HighLevel, because this way then we can look at the stats and have it so that we can look at the how it's doing in terms of conversion. Okay. I don't think it's 100% accurate because but I won't know until we start executing this for all of our clients moving forward. Okay. Now, video testimonials, I'm not going to get into it because it's another video in the future that we're going to be looking into. Review widget, if our clients have their own website, then we would use this. This particular client has their own website, and so we did not implement this review widget. Maybe in the future, if they request it, then we can do that. And then QR code. I did a previous video on QR codes. I'll put the link to that video on top. Go check it out on how to recreate custom codes, QR codes, and we create posters for our clients using Canva. The templates are available in our community. Go check it out. I'll put the link to our free community below. Okay. All right. So let's go to competitor analysis. Now, competitor analysis, I don't use this feature only because we use Brightlocal reporting. This is another video probably in the future that I'll do that compares Brightlocal and HighLevel's reporting of competitors. I haven't checked this out. It's another video that I'll probably do in the future. So that's why, if you like what you're hearing and you enjoying this content, subscribe to this channel. Okay. All right. So let's go to reviews. So reviews, like I said, I don't use it, but for this, I'm going to utilize it. So, but I'm going to use it not in a way that, some of the clients, you may give access to the platform and then they would send it manually. But we're going to do it in a way to kind of not over, strategically to send it so that clients, there's more chances of the client giving us a review. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If not, just follow along. But if you want to give them access, and so that makes it easy, then all you got to do is give them access to the platform or to their mobile app. So let's go and click Send Review Request. And then here, if you already have a contact that's stored in there, then you search for the contact and then it will populate with the phone number and email. And then you can choose between email, SMS, and WhatsApp. And then it's just a matter of clicking Send Review Request and it'll automatically send it out automatically based on the settings that you set, and we'll go over that. All right, so let me X out of this. All right, so let's go to reviews. So in reviews, this goes over, basically it'll show all the reviews that are available from the various sources that you've integrated to the platform. And so you can filter it by the ratings here. You can filter it by the sources here, and then the dates as well. Now, if you look at you can toggle the switch on and off. Now, just understand that the UX of this, meaning the how it looks now, may be different in the future because it has changed from the time that I got HighLevel. But another thing this is new to me is this where it says add reviews. Now, my assumption, I have not used it, is that you can add reviews manually or upload CSV files where I'm thinking that it will add to the reviews that are available, so that when you use the widget to display on your website, the testimonials or the reviews will be available and visible. Okay, I have yet to use that, just full transparency. Okay. Video testimonials, I'm not going to go over because it's another future video that I'm going to go over after testing it out. Okay, and so let's click on widgets. Now, this is utilized to show reviews on websites, and there are various ways, various templates that are available. So typically I use this standard template, right? Then let's click new, and we'll go over the various templates that are available. So as you can see here, there is list, grid. This is the one that we use most of the time. Masonry looks a little bit different, but if this is something that you prefer, then you can use that. We have occasionally used this, which basically you can if you click on one to various, and then it'll scroll across all the various reviews, or you can press the arrow key. Like this would be just visible, just one row. Okay, and then you have slider. This is showing just one review at a time. I've never used Flash, so I'm just going to pass that. I'm not sure what legacy. This is old. Never used that as well. So yeah, I'm not a big, yeah. So basically grid and carousel is something that we use most of the time. Okay. All right. And then this will also show you, you can copy the code right here. So after you create the widget and you design, actually you could also show a number of reviews here as well. And then if you want to select only the positive rating, so you say 4 stars and above here, and let me see here, okay. And then if you want to put powered by your agency or your platform, then you can toggle this or you can turn it off, right? After you save it, then you can pull the code from here, and then you can copy this code over to the your website or your whatever page that you want to show it. Okay. All right. So let's get out of that. All right. Let's see here. All right. So this is something that you may or may not know. This is GBP optimization. So we have our own procedure because this probably has about 70% of the optimization. Even though it says optimization, it is not the way that we do optimization on our company. But this probably has about 60-70%. If you get the score 15 to 16, and the reason for that is because this right here, right? We have not enabled this chat ability. We don't put that in yet because we want to make sure that the client understands what that is, because what happens is, just FYI, outside of this video, Google tracks the responses. So if you enable this chat widget and you don't respond, that's a negative thing on you. So when you enable it, you have to make sure that you can promptly respond, because if you don't promptly respond, then it will have a negative impact. Okay. So there is in here a social profile. So making sure that you have as many of the profiles that you put that in. Put that in there. And then as you can see here, this is more of the reviews, and you also have the ability to reply from here as well. It looks like, I think if you click on reply with the AI, it's going to take you over to this. So I can tell you right now. Yeah, it takes you over to basically the settings. Okay. All right. So then on that note, let's go to settings. Okay. All right. Let's go to settings. So we're going to go over methodically from top to bottom. Okay. So review AI auto response. Now we typically put auto response on all of them, except for in cases where the client, most instances, clients that say, hey, I want to respond to them personally, eventually switches to auto response because they just don't have time, because we have helped them with getting more clients. And so they start missing these reviews. And so in that case, when I see that, I typically tell the client, hey, you're not responding properly, so we're going to turn on review AI. Or in some cases, I just do it for them and they don't say anything after that. So I think they get the point. All right. So this is the drip campaign, right? So we enabled it. And so what we did, we turned it on, and basically we created an agent, right? So let's just go ahead and we told it to respond daily from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I think 2 replies per day, right? So let's just go ahead and this is actually creating the agent. So let me see if I have the ability to, oh, here it is. There we go. So basically I'm going to pause the campaign at this point because it's all done. And then here we're going to go and edit and so if you see here, older than 60 days. The reason I did that was because the newer reviews had replies. And so I looked at it, and then I also put a date range. I did put a date range between 25. So it is actually, this is odd. I don't know why it did that. Because I did put a range and I only went back a year. Yeah, I'm not sure why that time period and that in the stats were so high. But that's something I have to look into. Frequency, number of replies. So basically, AI took over daily, replying to 2 per day between 10 to 5. And then I selected the agent, which is Clearfair. I'm going to talk about that as well. Okay. All right. So here is the Review AI agent. Now, let's go ahead and create agent. And I'm going to tell you, majority of the time we use Clearfair as because it's professional, right? And then when it starts replying, I do modify the prompt to adjust to what it's saying. For example, I believe I added in for this specific client to say, thanks for the review. I told the agent to say, if you need help with roofing, siding, and window, please let us know. And so it does that on some of the reviews. Now, the other one, I think if you're playful, so one of our clients is we adjusted it for Axel Dazzle, and it fits perfectly with his client. For those that are familiar with some of our clients, his name is Alan Sadine. He's a caricature artist, and so he's been our client for a long time, and so that is perfect for him. So there's also Solution Sally. If you do a lot of reviews of businesses that have a lot of concerns, then this is something that you may want to utilize. Grace Space is somebody that's empathetic, solution oriented, and Taylor Sailor is optimistic. So pick any one. We tend to generally use Clearfair because most of my clients, I think, attract very professional. I tend to attract professionals mostly. Okay. All right. So then typically it's automatically set for this legacy review AI. So I typically disable it by clicking on it's already disabled. So, right here it says enable. So if you click on this, I can disable this and then, create a new agent. So right now this is enabled and it does all of them and then all reviews. So for those, those are concerned about negative reviews, AI does a pretty good job of attending to negative reviews, but we did have certain circumstances where the review AI would say, please call our office to get a refund or something like that. And so we, luckily we picked that up and we changed the prompt to not give any refunds. Okay, so we'll tend to just say, hey, call the office and we'll attend to your matter or something like that, right? So we don't want to be giving credits, or it depends on the type of business, but typically we deal with clients that do maybe a couple $100, thousands of services and products, and so and we never got permission for that, and so we make sure we take care of that, I guess. So let's go to review link. And so in here, the review link here is we are sending all of our reviews to the Google business profile. Now we can basically balance this, right? So basically meaning certain percentage, I'm just going to turn it on. And so if you want to configure the balance, you can have certain percentages going to, let's just say if you have, Better Business Bureau, Trustpilot, or I think this is, Trustpilot, Google Review, or Facebook Review, and you want to balance maybe 70% going to Google, 30% going to somewhere else, you have control over that. So, but right now, majority of our business, or majority of our clients, we tell them focus on your Google reviews, because that's where it's very important at this point for most local businesses. All right. Let me just save that in case that was affected, and just make sure you have this selected at top, the Google reviews. Okay. All right. So SMS reviews, I already have this turned off. So initially it'll probably be turned off, and you can turn it on by toggling this switch. And then this gives you the ability. So typically it would say don't repeat. Okay. Just FYI. For this specific client, what I'm thinking about, I'll share this at the end of how I'll go over the workflow of how we're going to utilize this reputation. But for now, you have the ability to basically, immediately, it'll send it immediately. Now, when do you not want to send it in, at a later time? The best example I can tell is if you are dealing with a dentist, right? If somebody goes out of the dentist's office and they're in pain, you don't want to be sending out a review immediately. Maybe the next day would be more appropriate. So in that case, you would say, custom, and you would say number of days, right? And then if they don't click on the link, then it will send a review again. And then if they do click on it, then it will stop. And then you have the ability to choose the interval and the maximum number of tries. Okay. I typically don't go over 2, because we send SMS and emails together. So we talk about 4 touches. I think that's sufficient. All right. So this is the template. Now, you also, if you want to check out the other templates that are available, you can click create new, and then select pre-built. And if you select that, then it gives you these various other wordings that you can utilize. So if you decide to use them, you can select them and replace the one that's already there, right? Right. The other thing is you can set SMS templates. So let's say, for example, right, if you decide you want to retry, 1 week later, maximum retry 2, then what you can do is it's going to send once, and then it's going to send it again. Then what you can do is you can set the template here. The first live would be whatever template that you create. And then the second one would be you select the template for that. So that way you have the ability to create 2 different a text message that's going to go out. Let's go over to, I'm going to turn this off, and let's go to email request. Okay. So email request, same concept, right? So where you can send it immediately, or you can send it 4 hours later, or whatever. Okay. And then you also can have maximum retries too, right? Initially, when you come here, right, because this is something that I already worked on, you'll only see the default email. So when you click on maximum retries 2, this, as you can see, it created this, it opened up another one. So maximum retry, the third email. So this is 1, 2. So I guess retries means retry 1 and retry 2. Okay. So there's 3 emails. So we will probably do retry 1. Let's see if it, okay, so it does not delete it. So what you would have to do is you would delete this. Okay. And let's see if you just change your mind and you decide to do retry 2, it will bring it back here, as you can see here. Okay. I'll decide. I mean, I think what I'll do is typically what we'll do is we will send a sample of the email or that's going to go out to our clients to get approval. Or in most cases, what we'll do is in some cases, what we'll do is we'll send the review campaign to the client and see if they like it or not. Okay, just to get their approval. All right, I'm going to turn this off for now. And then here is, if you're using WhatsApp, I don't really use it, so I'm not going to go into it because if I go and start talking about it, I'm going to be talking about something I don't utilize. So full transparency, okay? All right, review QR code. Now, if you watch my other video where I talked about the QR code, I talked about if you decide you use this, that's you can go ahead and use it, but I just don't like the design of this, and I don't want to put the effort into it. And so we typically use designs that are created in Canva and use the QR code in, not specifically here, but in sites under QR code, and we create a QR code. Check out that video on that. Okay. Spam reviews. I have not used this feature because none of our clients, luckily, have not had issues with spam. If they want us to turn it on, then we will typically turn it on, but maybe we will as a matter of procedure. But for now, we leave it off because that's the default setting. Okay. And here is integration. This is where all of the various review sites are listed. And so you have the ability to connect. If you have reviews on other websites, I think typically for real estate investors, they have reviews on Zillow. And so you have the ability to connect Zillow here so that you can integrate all the reviews so that it'll be visible if you put the widget on your website. All right. So on that note, I'm going to share with you specifically how we intend to execute it for this specific client, classic remodeling. So just in general, every client is going to be different depending on how they deliver to their client and what constitute closing or fulfillment on their side. So this specific client uses Google, Excel spreadsheet. And so in that case, I didn't want to overwhelm the client with giving them access to our platform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another Google sheet and that's going to be where they're going to input all of the information. It's just a matter of copy and pasting the information of their customers. And that Google sheet, I'll pull over the copy of the Google sheet here. And so this Google sheet is going to have the date, first name, last name, cell phone, email. And then this last column is going to be the trigger, right? And so we use an extension called Pabbly Connect Webhook. And so that's going to trigger Pabbly. And so I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to show you this. So this is a trigger workflow, right? So this is going to pull the Google sheet and the information, and that's going to go over to Lead Connector to the client, and it's going to push out the information with a tag, with a review tag. And so when that tag happens, then in our client's website and the client's sub account, we're going to go to automations here. We're in the client sub account, and what we're going to do is in LVS stands for local visibility system. That is the workflows and the things that we are creating. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to simplify a lot of our procedure here. And so I've already created this workflow from, it's a new workflow. And so I'm going to just create here review trigger, right? Let's call it review trigger. So what's going to be triggering is going to be the tag. It's going to have a tag on something review. Typically I put brackets, the client's name, and then review. And then that's going to be triggering this workflow. And so the first thing that's going to happen is probably we're going to be sending out an email, right? So we're going to send out an email, and that email is going to be, let me just write it here something, because the only way it'll save is if I write something. It's going to be saying thank you for working with us, right? I'll figure out the copy using ChatGPT. Let's see, I'm just going to write thank you here for now, right? Thank you, right? The second trigger is I'm going to probably say in the email something to the effect of, look out for an email and text message asking you for review, right? So maybe the day later, so like here, I will put in a wait state, right? I would wait for a set period of time. I would say 1 day later, right? And then I would trigger review, right? Now, this is where I would set a review SMS, and so that will trigger the SMS, right? And let me put my face here so that it looks like I'm actually looking over here. So let me and then next I'm gonna do a review email, right? So that it's better I move my face over here. That it'll send the SMS and the review by email at the same time, right? And then within that email, I'll set it to go off at a certain number of times. And then the second the SMS probably I'll have to try time it properly. So maybe 7 days later, the review request will be 14 days later. So knowing that if they clicked on it, then it will stop automatically, right? So the other thing that I would, the wording on the second email, I would make it different so that it doesn't seem, just, I think from the template it had just checking in or something like that. So you would make it, I would probably adapt to it, adjust to it accordingly. Okay. And then probably I would execute a 6 month, maybe 3 months. I'll ask the client to just check in on how, if everything, if they have any issues or anything like that. Please, please let us know. And then just say, hey, if you need other services, or depending on what they did. Now, I don't want to overcomplicate this because they do a bunch of things. And so I can probably state, we do X, Y, and Z. If there's anything, if they can help, then please get in touch with us. And so that will be an email at the very end. And so, and these are for this specific client, we executed this review campaign, but we are also doing a database reactivation as an add-on service. So I'll probably do that video in the future. So if you want to follow along, just click on subscribe and follow along. Right? That pretty much I hope this was a something that can help you in your business. If you have any questions or have any comments, make those comments below so that if there's other videos that you want to see, please put your comments below so that I can make those videos. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Bye now.